Hi, welcome to another daily devotion. Yes, we're still on James chapter 1, verse 19, and starting to get some really positive feedback on this subject, and I'm really glad that you're listening. That was a joke. Anyway, let me go to the book of Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 2, and the word reads, "A fool has no delight in understanding, but in expressing his own heart." And so a fool has no delight in understanding. In other words, they're not teachable. And one of the worst things we can try and do is to teach people who are unteachable. And so they're not going to listen, they're not going to learn. And it goes on to say, but it says here, but in expressing his own heart. In other words, their main intention is they want you to hear their wisdom. They want you to hear their counsel. They want you to hear their story. And it reminds me of a time when I was with some guys and we're sitting and we had a meeting with a particular person, probably 3 or 4 different times. And each time that we met over a period of 3 months or so, all we ever did was we sat down and just listened to this person every single time. As for an hour, they just went on, did all the talking, and we did all the listening. And when he asked for us to meet again some other time, one of us spoke up and said, "You know what, I've really got other things that I could do." And the guy was offended, and when he was told that what he was doing, he absolutely had no idea that he was doing that. And lo and behold, when we met again the next time, he was trying so hard to hold his tongue and to try and listen, and he realized what a struggle it was for him, because when others were speaking about whatever it was, he found himself interjecting and then apologizing, I'm not sure how many times. But it's good to be in the company of friends that we can receive correction and instruction of things and blind spots in our lives. But it says here that a fool has no delight in understanding. And so, we need to look at our own lives and to think, where do I fit in this? Do I like to do all the talking, or do I listen? Do I interject? Do I cut people off? Or do I like to railroad a conversation to an area that where I want it to go, or lead it to me, or my successes, whatever it may be? And it's saying here, but their intention is to express their own heart. Have a listen to these here. This one here, the word listen contains the same letters as the word silent. The word listen contains the same letters as the word silent. I think that's, I don't think there's any mistake there at all. Listen to this one. If you make listening and observation your occupation, you will gain much more than you can by talk. I'll read it again. If you or I make listening and observation our occupation, we will gain much more than we ever will by talk. Isn't that good? And it's so, so true. To be a good listener. A good listener is a good learner. And another one here, it says, wisdom is the reward for a lifetime of listening. Wisdom is the reward for a lifetime of listening. So listening is extremely important, really, really important. It is the providence of knowledge to speak, and it is the privilege of wisdom to listen. The scriptures, I'm taking these out of various different scriptures, and the Bible does have a lot to say. What is recorded in James chapter 1 verse 19, let every man be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. I wonder how many arguments could have been avoided, misunderstandings could have been avoided, if both parties took the time to listen to what the other was trying to say. And so another one here, some don't listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. And no one's going to go anywhere with that. It's always going to be a hard road and a hard relationship. And the art of listening, the art of having 2 ears, the practice of using 2 ears before we use our mouth, is something that I think that is of great value to each individual. Let every man be quick to hear, quick to listen, quick to understand, and to try and understand what people are saying, where they're coming from, before we speak. Because when we get these things around the wrong way, we see the wrath of man begin to develop. And nobody wins there, because it says the wrath of man does not produce the righteousness of God. Anyway, join me again tomorrow, because we're going to continue again along these lines. I think it's really important. Anyway, be blessed, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.